Hello, I'm Jacob Heffern.
And I'm Holly Foran. Welcome to this edition of Channel 8 News. We've been enjoying the recent sunshine, but for some, the warm, dry weather has been causing problems. More on this story after the break.
This group of volunteers is sending this box of blankets to the other side of the world. I'm Ann Clausen, and I'll have that story on Channel 8 News coming up next.
And last night, we had an incident near the International Student Center when a student's car rolled into a ditch.
All that and more coming up on this edition of Channel 8 News.
This is Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. For Manhattan and Riley County.
We see cars on campus.
A bizarre incident took place on campus last evening.
It involved a car, a creek, and a tow truck. We now send it over to Brian Brockelman, who has the full story.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Talk about a weird occurrence to happen right here at Kansas State. One student's car ended up rolling down a hill into a creek right here on campus. Oddly enough, no one was driving the car when the incident took place. But for A.J. Devlin, that wasn't the case. His car rolled backwards unattended into the bed of a creek last evening. I'm here in front of the International Student Center where a car just rolled down a hill into a creek. The car was parked right over here where this red cobalt is at. It rolled across the road, rolled down this hill, and is now parked at the bottom of this creek. It's suspected that the car's e-brake was not on. That's why it rolled down the hill. According to Kansas State University police, the car had been parked, but the emergency brake was not properly engaged. The vehicle then began to roll backwards, crossing Manhattan Avenue. The car then backed over a small tree before lodging itself between the banks of a creek. The car was towed soon after police arrived on the scene. According to eyewitness Todd Visser, this incident was not something you see every day.
Okay, well, there's a parking lot right there, and it's coming, looks like the car was just pulling out in the mid-campus here, but then it kept going, jumped the sidewalk, rolled down the hill, and jumped in the creek, and it's usually not where people park their cars. I realized there was no one in the car at all, so just seemed everything just seemed odd about it. Top 5 best Tuesday ever, for sure.
I'll be sure to double check my parking brake when I get home today. Back to you guys at the desk.
One of the best days ever for Todd.
And I imagine it was one of the worst days ever for the owner of that car.
Luckily, no one was injured.
It's really warmed up this week. Weather's taken quite a roller coaster ride this semester. Let's go to Drew Morris and see what else we can expect this week.
Yes, guys, the weather has been crazy and temperamental, just like my ex-girlfriend. One day it's hot and windy, the next day it's cold and I'm sleeping on the couch and I have no idea why. But luckily it's warmed up enough that I can get out of my house, take off my jacket, run around a little bit, try to make some friends, and stop playing video games all the time. Back to you guys.
The National Bio and Agro Defence Facility was deemed considerably safer by the Department of Homeland Security last week, contrary to a 2010 report.
Despite the vacant look of the construction site, some of these
of a foot and mouth disease outbreak from 70% to less than 1%.
This is a percentage given excluding any natural disasters occurring around the facility, which was a concern with the location being in Tornado Alley. However, this assessment has concluded that NBAF's design is up to date with the best practices for safe laboratory operations. It's that time of year when K-State students once again show how proud they are to be Wildcats and part of the K-State community by putting time and effort into the annual student-led philanthropic campaign.
During K-State Proud Week, the students all rallied together to reach their goal of $120,000. Let's go to Channel 8's Don Bolajak with more on the story.
Thanks, Holly and Jacob. There were so many ways to be involved with this campaign. The most popular way is to donate by purchasing a K-State Proud t-shirt and wearing it to the big game that weekend. All the money that is raised goes to students who are in dire financial need.
The experience that I've had at K-State is all about being a part of something bigger than myself.
It meant a lot to me in the moment, and it still means a lot to me.
It all started in 2007 when this campaign was created. Students were challenged to create opportunity to give back to the community. It surpassed everyone's expectations and continues to do so. Since the first year, more than $450,000 has been raised for the Student Opportunity Award.
And you know where your money goes?
Student Opportunity Award. There you go.
Setting up.
DJ, coming back to you to do one.
Last year, the Kansas State students were able to raise over $117,618. So this year, a goal of $120,000 was made. Even though the goal was not yet met, they were still able to bring in $108,000. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Don. I'm excited to see what the goals will be for next year.
According to Riley County Police, another Manhattan High student has been hospitalized for trying to get intoxicated off of cough medicine.
Police say 3 Manhattan High students were trying to get a high from cough medicine Friday morning when things went a bit too far, and one of the students had to be taken to the hospital.
This is the 5th reported case of a Manhattan High student that has been sent to the hospital for overdosing since January. So, Holly, you had a very interesting weekend experiencing K-State's farming. What'd you experience?
Well, Jacob, I went to visit the Rezac's farm in Onega, Kansas. I got to talk to Jay Rezac about how the weather has been recently affecting his business. For Jay Rezac and his family, their livelihood depends on the weather. This past summer was very hot and dry for Kansas. As a rancher in Onega, this is the first time in a while that Rezac has had to deal with drought.
Our beans were good because we had some rains in August. However, our corn was pretty poor because July was very hot and dry.
Although the beef industry is doing well, this constant weather change is costing Rezac and neighboring farmers a lot of money.
The cattle business has actually been very good as of recent. Beef production is at record lows as far as cow numbers, and the price of beef is actually at extreme highs right now. However, with the drought, the price of hay has more than doubled in the last 6 to 8 months, and all the other feed ingredients have also gone up a tremendous amount, so the cost of gain, the cost of putting on a pound of beef is costing as much more now than it was.
Ranchers and farmers like the Rezacs are still battling against the elements to keep their agricultural businesses going. But why?
Well, agriculture is, many people say it's a way of life, and it is, but it's also a business. And we've been very blessed here on this particular operation. And my brother and myself, we are the 3rd generation, and our kids coming back will be the 4th. And it's just been a good way of life.
Jay Rezac told me that if working in agriculture was an easy job, then everyone would be doing it. It takes passion and pride to help win this fight against the weather.
Well, Holly, it certainly looks like you had a fun time out there.
I really did.
Well, before we take a short break here at Channel 8, we'd like to commemorate Dr. Todd Simon, a beloved teacher in the A.Q. Miller Journalism School at K-State.
2 days ago, one of the journalism professors and former director of the A.Q. Miller School died. Dr. Todd Simon passed away after having a massive heart attack. Arrangements for the service are being made.
Dr. Simon taught public relations, political communication, and media law. He also served as the chapter advisor for the K-State PRSSA. He was only 61 when he passed. We will now have a few moments of silence to honor his passing.
I'm Mary.
I'm Daniel, also known as Flo.
And this is the Wildcat 91.9.
Award-winning and student-run, the Wildcat plays rock. They play urban, they even play dubstep. Sometimes things get a little crazy. Their DJs talk news, sports, technology, pop culture. They even packed 4 guys into a van to send to the Cotton Bowl.
It's a long way to go. We do it for you. We're the Wildcat 91.9.